all come to this happy place, welcome.
News team, assemble!
Joining us live because if you want to know anything about the Outer Banks, Sam Walker's the dude to fill you in.
The sea was angry that day, my friends. Like an old man trying to send back soup in a deli.
Always appreciate talking to you.
Always good stuff with Sam Walker in the Outer Banks.
Now here's Les Nessman and the news.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to OBX Today for Wednesday, October 20th, 2021. Glad to have you along with us on Facebook on the OBX 7 tonight at Oregon Inlet. And it's a pretty good one. I think we might just have to do a special live feed of it tonight. So we'll get things set up out here on the Ocracoke Sound and show you the view from here tonight around 6:30. So hang around for that later on this evening if you're not with us. And we got people checking in from all over the place. I saw Boston checking in this morning, Elberon, Virginia, and Connecticut, and all over the place checking in this morning. So thanks for stopping by and starting your day with us here on OBX Today Live. Let's get into some of the headlines we've got for you at obxtoday.com this morning. Police still investigating a chase that led to a crash at a hardware store on Highway 158 over the weekend in Kitty Hawk. Officers with the Kitty Hawk Police Department attempted to stop a vehicle traveling northbound on the bypass Saturday evening around 8:49 p.m. The vehicle turned around near milepost 3.5, started heading southbound on North Croatan Highway with officers in pursuit. The vehicle struck a SUV from behind, caused extensive damage, and the occupant suffered minor injuries. The pursued vehicle then left the roadway and hit an unoccupied box truck parked at Ace Hardware in Kitty Hawk. The man driving the vehicle that caused the wreck was initially transported to Outer Banks Hospital, then flown to Centera Norfolk General Hospital, where he remained under treatment. Chief Joel Johnson with the Kitty Hawk Police Department told us yesterday that more information about that crash is going to come out, including the identity of the driver, as they continue their investigation. So we'll keep you posted about that as we get more details. Late yesterday afternoon, got an announcement from the town of Manteo that town manager James Ayers is going to be leaving in 60 days, gave a 60-day notice of his departure to the Manteo Board of Commissioners yesterday, so he'll be stepping down in December. That's after he was hired in January 2019. He replaced longtime town manager Kermit Skinner, who retired after 35 years back in 2019. Ayers said in a statement, "I'm grateful to the Board of Commissioners and the people of Manteo for the opportunity to serve the local community. It's been an honor to work alongside the many dedicated town staff members, community volunteers, and elected and appointed officials in Manteo." The Manteo Board of Commissioners thanked Ayers for his hard work and dedicated service to the town. Prior to his hire in January 2019, Ayers worked as General Services Director for the city of Asheville, where he was also Interim Human Resources Director. The Board of Commissioners said they'll consider their options in filling the position, most likely on an interim basis starting in December, and then get the hiring process underway for a new town manager. More details coming about that in the coming weeks. Dare County Sheriff's Office reporting that someone had called in saying they'd been shot in Collington Harbor last week. Ended up leading to the arrest of a 24-year-old man on numerous drug charges. Dare County Sheriff's deputies working in A District responded to a call on Sir Chandler Drive Friday morning around 8:10 a.m. Upon arrival, investigators determined that the person who had called was experiencing hallucinations. Deputies said they found and seized quantities of Xanax, Suboxone, LSD, meth, marijuana, and other materials. Ryan Thomas Philbrook was charged with multiple felony and misdemeanor counts and has been released after posting a $30,000 secured bond. Latest on COVID-19 in North Carolina. We'll get this morning's numbers. Should be to us in a short amount of time. Usually around mid-morning now is when the new deets come out. But the latest in North Carolina, new cases in North Carolina have dropped to levels not seen since midsummer. 1,374 new cases were reported yesterday. The rolling 7-day average of new cases is also the lowest it's been since July 31st. Some new information coming out from the Department of Health and Human Services. WRAL reporting yesterday that scores of pediatrics offices across the state could be part of wave one in the state's effort to vaccinate children against the coronavirus. State Department of Health and Human Services on Tuesday sent notices to more than 230 providers statewide, including county health departments and pharmacies, as well as pediatricians, asking them whether they want to take part in the initial push to immunize children ages 5 to 11. Federal regulators will be meeting in the next 2 weeks and could grant emergency authorization to give Pfizer's coronavirus vaccine to children. If approved, DHHS officials said North Carolina providers could start giving shots shortly after November the 3rd. The White House is expected to announce its rollout of the children vaccination program in the next few moments. And we'll get some details about that out as they become available. The Beaufort County Schools now giving a $250 incentive to any faculty or staff member who's COVID-19 vaccinated. The Beaufort County Schools Board voting unanimously to approve that at their meeting last night. WNCT reporting employees who aren't vaccinated yet can also get the bonus if they get their doses by June 30th of next year. The idea was brought to the school board by Beaufort County Superintendent Matthew Cheeseman. The money would come from COVID relief funds that the school system has received, both federal and state money. Now, an University of Oregon economist has put out a report. He's finding that the COVID vaccine lotteries that took place across the country in many states, including North Carolina, had zero effect on boosting the number of people that got vaccinated. This report, CBS 17 in Raleigh, had a story this morning about that. He's saying, and I'll give you a second here, as it's being a little slow loading at the moment, so I want to get the full details on that to you. And you know what? I think we may take a break here if this does not load up. Got a lot pulled up on the computer this morning and maybe making it run a little slow at the moment. So again, this economist report coming out yesterday that the North Carolina lottery had effectively no impact on state vaccination rates, and he's saying that was across the country the same, or his findings anyway, found that it did not have any impact on boosting vaccination numbers. So state officials said that they did see a moderate boost in their numbers. This economist kind of contradicting that report. North Carolina prisons are now only going to allow digital scans of mail for inmates. They are North Carolina prison system working with a private company that will handle all inmate mail that will be turned into electronic, emails or other electronic communication. They're saying that this is to prevent the use of the mail from going to inmates that may have drugs and other illicit materials being sent to prisoners. The Department of Public Safety say it'll make prisons safer, but advocates are more concerned. Communications director for the Prison Policy Initiative said connections like cards from loved ones while in prison are essential for a successful life after prison. The state Department of Public Safety said mailroom staffers confiscated 568 items of contraband and drugs in a year. And there are more 26,000 men in state prisons. A spokesperson for the Department of Public Safety said he understands that offenders will be missing out, but that the actions of a few made the change necessary. Todd Ishii, who's commissioner of prisons, said processing mail away from prison staffers eliminates the risk of staff and offenders accidentally being exposed to things like paper coated in liquid fentanyl. People sending mail to prisons need to download an app called Text Behind and upload the scans. Each scan starts at 49 cents. Mail can also be sent to the Maryland-based company that will be handling that and cannot be sent directly to prisons any longer. Former North Carolina poet laureate Joseph Bethanti is a prison advocate and spent decades teaching creative writing classes in prisons. He understands the need for safety, but said the new mail program is of concern. A state spokesperson said offenders still receive the content, but Bethanti said the original form is something offenders can hold on to. Some news on the state fair. Yesterday was Senior Citizen Day at the state fair. And while the fair is still very popular after last year's cancellation caused by coronavirus concerns, the numbers continue to be down. We've talked about that earlier this week about the numbers being off in the first couple of days when nearly 50% less people came out to the state fair on its first day. Those numbers continued to decline and have yet to top the 100,000 mark back in 2019 on day 3, which was a Saturday. More than 111,000 people came out in 2019 compared to this year when only 83,000 attended. So they're definitely seeing a drop off in the state fair numbers and a variety of reasons for that. Mostly has been that people are just apprehensive to head out because of the COVID-19 pandemic. All right, it is OBX Today, and we will have more for you coming up after you watch this. And welcome back to OBX Today here on Facebook and YouTube. And thanks, Andrea, for letting me know about that little audio issue there. Still working to get out the bugs. I mean, I'm a radio guy. The TV thing still is being a little...
A simple binary code transmitted by carrier wave signal. Radio.
Yeah, I'm a radio guy, so TV thing still gets me sometimes. Latest on the state budget. Not a lot to report. Of course, much like in 2019, North Carolina is again months into a new fiscal year without a budget. Agreement between the governor and Republican lawmakers. This time 2 years ago, the public had at least seen the outline of what House and Senate leaders had agreed on, as well as Governor Cooper's counteroffer to that spending proposal. So far this year, neither of those proposals have been made public. We all know for sure it's those proposals exist, and the two sides are talking. Senate Leader Berger and House Speaker Moore's offices have said the joint proposal, another joint proposal has been sent to the governor after he sent his counter proposal last week. The joint proposal, another counteroffer was sent yesterday. That was 2 weeks after Cooper provided his counteroffer to the initial pitch from lawmakers. State budget is supposed to be in place July 1st, but slow work at the legislative building combined with still significant differences with the governor have extended talks from the summer into the fall. Now, there's no legal requirement for budget talks to be open to the public, but any exchange of documents between government officials is clearly public record under state law, and so far, no such documents have been released. Business North Carolina writing, they've requested copies of the offers and counteroffers last week. So far, they've received no documents, but it's common for state agencies to take weeks or even months to cough up public record requests. And our pallet Business Digest, Colin Campbell, saying that his sense is that both sides think negotiating in secret is more likely to yield a long overdue compromise. But the result is the rest of us are left in the dark. The state has yet to get a budget approved since Governor Cooper was inaugurated the first time in 2017. This has been a sticking point between the Democrat Cooper and the Republican leaders at the legislature. The state's been operating on mini budgets. North Carolina does not do the continuing resolution thing like they do in Congress. Rather, North Carolina will continue, the state government will continue to operate even if a budget's not passed on its previous spending levels. And then they've done the last couple times a couple of these mini budgets. They've just taken pieces of it and broken it out. But some of the biggest sticking points continue to be teacher salaries and state employee raises, as well as the governor's push to expand Medicaid. One question that Colin had in his daily email this morning is the governor willing to trade Medicaid expansion for corporate tax cuts? Another question he had is, have legislators offer to delete language in their budget bill that would limit the governor's powers? So, again, no budget. On top of that, we got redistricting going on, which has been taking place somewhat in public with public hearings that took place last month. The maps seem to be kind of coming in place. The different legislators given opportunities to draw the maps, which the public can watch that, but the process, again, has been kind of clunky in terms of the information getting out, although some say, well, this is much better than what had been done in previous administrations or previous, rather, leadership of the Democrats over the last several decades, where the maps just came out and then were voted on and were really not given a lot of public scrutiny. So, again, you've got two things going on, the budget and redistricting, that's kind of tying things up in Raleigh. Quite a number of bills that are still sitting there that haven't been acted on by the legislature. Probably won't get acted on because really the only focus now they have is the budget and redistricting, and that's expected to be what the only thing that really gets voted on by the legislature between now and whenever they decide to wrap it up, which it looks like it's going to be November now before the long session will come to an end. The Duck Police Department this Saturday is going to be participating in Operation Medicine Drop, part of the Safe Kids NC coalition. And they're going to have a take-back event Saturday from 10 to 2 at the Duck Police Department. You can drop off unused, unwanted, or expired medications at the Duck Police Department anytime during their normal business hours, but they are going to have a special drop of our event this Saturday from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Our friends down at the Ocracoke Observer, Pete Vankevich and Connie Leinbach, got a story up this morning that groundbreaking for the new Ocracoke School will take place on Friday. They'll have the groundbreaking at 1:30 Friday for the new building held at the Circle at the end of School Road. The historic devastation Dorian caused flooded all campus buildings beyond use, except for the second floor of the elementary building. School staff has scrambled to find alternative locations for administration and classroom space in the Ocracoke Child Care Building and the North Carolina Center for the Advancement of Teaching, which is in the former Coast Guard building at Silver Lake Harbor. A modular unit was installed for middle and high school students, which has been in use since last year. Pre-K, kindergarten, and elementary students are in the repaired and raised up elementary building, and administrative offices are in the Ocracoke Child Care building. The innovative design of the new building will integrate all school departments, pre-K to 5, middle and high schools, and athletics. Ben Cahoon of Cahoon and Caston Architects and mayor of Nags Head telling the Ocracoke Observer the building roughly follows the footprint of what's there now, but they've created a new commons area and moved the entrance. Because the building must comply with new village flood elevation ordinance, it'll be raised 5.5 feet above ground level or 7.5 feet above mean high tide. Friday morning, Superintendent Steve Bastnight's going to be on What's Happening on Ocracoke on WOVV. That's Ocracoke's community radio station, which you can listen to at WOVV.org. And if you're in the village, 90.1 FM at 11:30 Friday. And then again, the groundbreaking set for 1:30 for the new Ocracoke School on Friday. Connie Leinbach from Ocracoke Observer also detailing what's coming up for the Pirate Jamboree. The Blackbeard Pirate Jamboree, which will take place the last weekend of October, so weekend after next, the 29th and 30th. Connie's one of the organizers of the annual Blackbeard Pirate Jamboree, which is finally returning to Ocracoke after a couple of years off, obviously because of Dorian and then the pandemic. There's all types of activities that'll be going on. Let's see, the 29th. What if I got the 29th? Because I wouldn't mind going down there and watching the 1968 Disney comedy Blackbeard's Ghost. Will be shown at the Berkeley Barn. That might be worth going down for. That was going to be shown. And then there's all kinds of stuff that's going to be going on throughout the weekend. Next weekend in Ocracoke. It's all family friendly and it's free. There'll be a bazaar at the Berkeley Manor grounds from 2 to 5. The Motley Tones Minstrels will be performing at 6:30 and then 7 o'clock again. The incredible Blackbeard's Ghost Rocky Horror Picture Show, where they'll watch the 1968 Disney movie Blackbeard's Ghost and shout out certain lines. That'll be followed by a discussion about pirates and fake news in 1718 at the Berkeley Barn on Friday. Then Saturday from 9 to 6, a cannon blast waking up Ocracoke, the Colonial Village and Brigands Bazaar will open on the Berkeley Manor grounds featuring the Cannon Crew. There'll be all types of other stuff going on. A pirate parade at 10 o'clock. 10:30, the Motley Tones are performing at Community Square. 11 o'clock, pirate ships sail into Silver Lake Harbor with cannons blazing. Kevin Duffus, great historian, who have a presentation 11:30 on Saturday called The Pamlico Pirates. Who were they and why did they stand with Blackbeard? There'll be a sword fighting demonstration. There'll be, the Battle of Ocracoke, a little 3-boat battle going on in Silver Lake between Blackbeard and another pirate, Maynard. And then, the 13th annual Blackbeard Pirate and Royal Navy Memorial Service takes place to wrap things up. Plus, there'll be nighttime activities going on at 1718 Brewing with the Ocracoke Oyster Company, Coyote Den, Dagio, and The Breeze, also hosting activities at night. So it's all coming up weekend after next, the 29th and 30th in Ocracoke, the Blackbeard's Pirate Jamboree returning to Ocracoke. And get details at visitocracokevillage.com or stop by ocracokeobserver.com for more information. Joy Christ at the Island Free Press writing this morning that the Worrell 1000 catamaran race, a little more details coming out, what their plans are coming back in 2022 after a 17-year hiatus. They had one in 2019. It's one of the most iconic and dangerous sailboat races in the world. Is coming back. Of course, they'll have stops in Frisco and then in Killable Hills. The race will begin on May 9th of next year. Already has a full roster of 17 teams representing 6 countries. Returning champions Randy Smith, who's won the Worrell 6 times, and Rod Waterhouse, who's a 4-time champion among those competing. And Joy's got all kinds of details about that at islandfreepress.org this morning. But again, the Worrell 1000, the calendar is set, and they are ready to race in May of next year. And again, stops will happen at Ramp 49 in Frisco, and then at in Killable Hills before they head out to Virginia Beach to wrap up the Worrell 1000. The last nest on Ocracoke of sea turtles has hatched. That happened yesterday morning. It was actually excavated yesterday morning in Ocracoke. Cape Hatteras National Seashore saying yesterday on their Facebook page that sea turtle nesting season has been completed for Ocracoke. There's still 6 nests on Hatteras Island and 1 on Bonny Island. And those will probably be excavated. They're still incubating some of the latest nests. So far, it's been a pretty good year for sea turtle nesting in Cape Hatteras National Seashore. Daryl Law at Jeanette's Pier sending us a story yesterday. We've got up on the H2O page at obxtoday.com about the Nags Head Surf Fishing Club 69th Annual Invitational, which wrapped up last week, and details about the winner, Gene Meacham, who caught a 42-inch red drum to win the tournament for his team a couple weeks ago. Of course, 480 anglers on 86-person teams fishing in the Nags Head Surf Fishing Club 69th Annual Invitational. And we got details about that. You can check out pictures of that great-looking red drum that Gene Meacham hauled in to win that tournament. And you can see that on the H2O page at obxtoday.com. Stick around. We got more coming up, including the latest on what's going on with the sleeping tropics. We'll take a look at what's coming up this week in sports, or today in sports, and a full look at your OBX Today Weather Center forecast. All that straight ahead here as OBX Today Live continues after this.
Our pet of the week for this week is Roger. This sweet boy came to us from another shelter. Roger was emaciated and clearly not taken care of in his past life. Even though Roger did not feel good, he gave us all the kisses and loves to give hugs. His entire body will wiggle when he sees people, and he has the best head tilt. Roger is gaining weight and feels much better. He could go home with a family and another dog. To adopt Roger or foster one of our other animals, you can come visit us Tuesday through Sunday at our shelter located in Manteo. This week, join us here at the shelter for a volunteer orientation Saturday the 23rd at 11 a.m. This is a brilliant opportunity to get involved with helping our cats and dogs. For more information, visit our website at www.obxspca.org or visit our OBX SPCA Facebook page.
Back here on OBX Today, on Facebook, on the OBX Today Facebook page, and the Sam Walker OBX YouTube channel. Tropical weather updates. Well, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Still, the tropics have kind of taken a nap here as we get into the latter, as we really well move deep into the latter half of hurricane season. No new tropical systems are expected in the next 5 days. But things are getting a little bit, juicy again down in some parts of the tropics. I was scanning around this morning on SpaghettiModels.com, Mike's weather page, home of the Drunk Donkey. And here's kind of what he's got. Did a little graphic yesterday that conditions on some of the models showing some favorable activity in the tropics, or at least conditions are getting more favorable for next week. The warm, deep ocean heat content, warmer SST sea surface temp anomalies, an enhanced MJO phase coming, and La Nina's in place. So while we have had a pretty decent break from tropical systems over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, it ain't over. That's right, Andrea. It's not over. And you can see a lot of ocean heat content down in the Caribbean and even a small eddy there in the center of the Gulf of Mexico. Our sea surface temperatures in the 70s. They've dropped a little bit here over the last couple of days, from the mid-70s down to the upper 60s and low 70s, right along shore, but just offshore, still in the 70s. But really, you got a lot of water out here that's still in the 80s and even upper 80s down in the Caribbean, and that's going to continue. So we've got that, and things are getting a little less sheery, if you will. one thing to think about is, and this is what normally will happen this time of year. So we had a front come through back on Saturday that went offshore, and sometimes on the trailing edge of those fronts, on the bottom edge of those fronts, is when you'll get some disturbances that will come off of them. The last one didn't do that. The next one that's coming through this weekend may have a better chance. What's been bringing a lot of rainy weather down into the Gulf states the last couple of days. Not quite as bad as with that flooding they had back at the beginning of the month down there from that slow-moving system. This one's moving a little bit more rapidly. But again, that can create, when you get a front that goes offshore the continental United States, and then you do get some trailing low pressure on those sometimes can spawn, there's enough energy in them to possibly spawn something. So this next front will be interesting to see what it does as it moves offshore. In fact, here's what the WPC's got for us. Here's how things look right now. We're down in 60 degrees in the inland areas in North Carolina in the 40s, and those 40s and 50s and 60s, even low 60s down for overnight temperatures, dropping all the way down into Florida right now. I'll take that for this coming week. Then here's what it looks like tomorrow. High pressure starting to slide offshore, but still got this high that's over top. Let me zoom down on this a little bit better just to give you a better view of it. Oh, that's not the zoom I want. I wanted to zoom in. All right, so you see that we got a high pressure over southwestern North Carolina. Another high that's starting to develop off the South Carolina coast. That's going to give us the opportunity to get a little bit warmer the next couple of days. We'll start seeing those south winds pick up tomorrow and into Friday ahead of the frontal boundary that's still way out off over the Midwest. Here's how things look. This is how things are looking tomorrow at this time. Let's see. I need to zoom one more shot out here. Okay. And then that front starting to make its way across the country. Out ahead of it, we'll see the moisture starting to come up from the Gulf of Mexico ahead of that cold air. That's going to bring us the opportunities for showers and storms on Friday. It's not going to be a long-lived event in terms of the shower time. It looks like it's going to be a Friday afternoon, Friday night. Might disrupt the little things with high school football, but at this point, they're going to have to probably play. It's because we are getting down to the final couple of days, final weeks of the regular season there. Once that front gets offshore, you can see that low that's up off New Jersey, so we won't have to worry about it. Behind it, we're expected to get dry conditions. And, again, similar to what we've had all this week with highs in the 70s, overnight lows down in the 50s, maybe inland sections getting into the 40s. A little weak disturbance that'll be making its way over the upper Midwest and the Mississippi Valley into the Ohio Valley by the end of the weekend. And then that's supposed to scoot off over to our north. And by this time next week, we'll still be under the influence of high pressure here in eastern North Carolina. But that front, as you can see, there's a little stationary front this time next week down off of South Florida. So that's, something that we might need to watch for is, again, these systems that come off here in mid-fall have a tendency to get down here in the tropics and get some stuff. Looks like by the end of next week, heading to Halloween week, we'll have another frontal boundary coming through. So we're kind of in a weekly cycle now where we haven't had a lot of weather makers and things that are moving the atmosphere around to create the possibility of some weather or, not just being dry for weeks on end. Now it looks like we're kind of in a regular weekly pattern. We're going to see a front that's going to come across the country and bring us some showers. So that's how things look for next weekend. But right now, not too bad. But again, the tropics are quiet, and we'll have to wait and see if things develop because we still got time for hurricane season to get busy. We'll get the OBX Today Weather Center forecast in just a moment. Some sports to talk about. Baseball playoffs last night. The late game, it was Houston over the Boston. 7 runs in the ninth for the Astros. They win 9-2 to tie that series at 2 games apiece. They'll play at 5 o'clock today. Dodgers came back from down 5-2 to beat the Braves 6-5. to get back into that series. Braves still up 2-1. Game 4 tonight at 8 o'clock at Chavez Ravine. Carolina Hurricanes on the road tonight. They take on winless Montreal. That's a road game tonight for the Hurricanes at 7 o'clock. College basketball, Duke is the preseason favorite to win the ACC. No surprise there. North Carolina picked 3rd. Virginia and Virginia Tech 4th and 5th. NC State 9th and Wake Forest 13th. Although Wake's going to be a little better than 13th, folks. They're going to be somebody to watch that's going to be dangerous. Duke freshman Paolo Banchero is a preseason player and rookie of the year, although a lot of votes for Buddy Boeheim. He got the most votes on the first team All-ACC, but Banchero coming in, he's a phenom. Man, can he fly. Watched some highlights from Duke's Midnight Madness on Friday, and he was throwing some stuff down. Armando Bacot from Carolina was named to the first team All-ACC. High school soccer, just a couple of games today. First Light's traveling over to Edenton, and Currituck will be at Pasquotank. The volleyball regular season ends today. Perquimans and Camden are going to play their second of 2 matches. Camden got the win over Perquimans earlier this year. They're going to wrap up their regular season today. They are going to be the 1 seeds in the 1A and 2A. Perquimans now in 1A, or stayed in 1A. Camden moved up to 2A. They're going to be projected as the top seeds when the playoff brackets come out in volleyball tomorrow. But again, the regular season wrapping up today, and the playoffs for volleyball start on Saturday. All right, OBX Today Weather Center forecast for today. Here's what it looks like. Another nice day. Sunny skies with a high 75, west winds around 5 to 10. Clear tonight and a low 60 with southwest winds of 5 to 10. Thursday, sunny and a high 78 with southwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Thursday night, now looks like it's going to be some shower chances starting to move in Thursday night. Partly cloudy, a low 67 with southwest winds 15 to 20 miles an hour. Friday, mostly sunny, afternoon showers, maybe some rumbles of thunder and a high 77. Showers and storms get out of here Friday evening. And then Saturday's going to be sunny, 74. Sunday, sunny, 74. Monday and Tuesday, sunny and 73. Coastal Marine forecast, pretty benign ocean conditions, almost Lake Atlantic. As you can see, our live shot coming in from South Nags from Whalebone Junction this morning. It's flat out there. We'll be lucky to see 3-foot waves. 2 to 3 foot seas, 1 to 2 foot waves in the sounds with a west wind at 10 to 15 knots. Low risk of rip currents. Water temperature still 69 Duck, Nags Head 68, Avon 72, 66 on the sound side of the Oregon Inlet Fishing Center, and 68 at the Hatteras Ferry Dock. Just coming off high tide at Oregon Inlet a few minutes ago. We'll have low tide this afternoon at 2:58. Sunset tonight, 6:20. Full moon rises at 6:37. We're planning to bring that to you live here on OBX Today on the Facebook page. Coming up tonight, we'll be on at 6:30 with that with a live shot from here at Currituck on the Currituck Sound. Sunrise tomorrow is at 7:14. Currently outside of the studios in Uptown Nags Head, sunny skies and 60 degrees. And that'll do it for this edition of OBX Today Live. Glad you're along with us here on the OBX Today Facebook page and the Sam Walker OBX YouTube channel. Again, 6:30 tonight. Join us to watch the moon rise with the Hunter's moon rising. We'll have our live shot of it rising over the Currituck Beach Lighthouse coming up at 6:30 tonight here on the OBX Today Facebook page and the Sam Walker OBX YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us this morning. Back with you tomorrow. Otherwise, if you don't join us tonight, join us tomorrow around 8 o'clock for OBX Today Live. I'm Sam Walker. Have a great Wednesday, everybody. We'll see you.